It is one of the most dangerous and impassable regions in the world, and yet this year alone 300,000 desperate people have tried to cross it in a search of a better life. The infamous Darien Gap on the border between Colombia and Panama is the only land route between South and North America. Those attempting to cross it risk robbery and death. Their goal is the registration center in Lajas Blancas. Those who make it there arrive sick and traumatized.
The first boats arrive at noon, often 150 per day, with refugees from Venezuela, Ecuador, and Haiti. This is the last stage on their trip to Lajas Blancas. After days of marching in the jungle of the Darien Gap, thousands reach Panama's registration office. The hot and humid climate has left most of them injured or dehydrated. Johan Ferrer also struggled for 4 days through the Darien Gap. His verdict, terrible.
Muy feo, muy feo.
The ordeal is over, but he can't find peace. There's no trace of his relatives who left Venezuela before him. My hope is that they have already passed through and were registered. That would reassure me. Because some do not survive this route. It's 100 kilometers of jungle, rivers, and mud, plus gangs that rob the migrants. How many die is unclear. There is no help on the way. The Darien Gap is the only land route between Colombia and Panama, and thus the only way to the USA for people like Jose Maldonado. His whole family fled poverty in Venezuela.
You see dead people on the way. I tried to ignore them. You're in a tunnel, you just want to arrive, and you walk and walk.
They rest because of the children, even though most of them want to keep moving. Lajas Blancas is overcrowded, littered, and polluted. Panama's authorities are overwhelmed. The Darien Gap is no route for migrants, they warn in campaigns. But despite the dangers, more are coming than ever before. 350,000 have arrived since the start of the year, already 100,000 more than the whole of last year. In Lajas Blancas, Doctors Without Borders help those who are worst off. Children with severe diarrhea and cough, their feet inflamed from the long journey, traumatized by the experience.
We demand a safe escape route where migrants are not exposed to these risks. We think migration is a right. People should not be criminalized.
Others are using the migrants' misery to earn a quick buck. $25 is what locals charge for a boat ride to Lajas Blancas, $1 to charge a cell phone, $40 for a bus ticket north. Panama's authorities turn a blind eye because they want to get rid of the migrants quickly. Maria is also ready to leave. Her family has scraped together their savings.
We dream and hope for the best in the future.
Today they are about to board one of the buses. They have put the Darien Gap behind them, but their destination is still thousands of kilometers away.
And for more on this story, let's bring in DW correspondent Nicole Ries. She joins me now from the Colombian capital of Bogota. Nicole, according to the UN, more than 350,000 people, and in 5 of them, children, have already made that journey through the Darien Gap this year. Why are so many people doing that?
Gerhard, these are indeed historic record numbers. By the end of the year, it could easily be more than 500,000 people who've made this really dangerous journey. Their motivation is very well known. Most of them escaping poverty and also insecurity. In some countries here in Latin America, for example, in Ecuador, insecurity has been rising, so violence is also a motive for them to leave. And they do believe that once they reach the US, life will be somehow easier for them, that they will find a job, security, stability, healthcare and education also for their children. You just mentioned it, 1 out of 5 people is a child going through this journey. Many of them, by the way, also go solo, and it's obviously a completely different ballgame game for a child to pass through such a jungle with the biohazards that you can find, but also other threats such as armed groups and gangs that can assault you or harm you or threaten your life. Nevertheless, people are seeking better opportunities. This is why they're going through this ordeal. And by the way, children, if we focus on this just a little more, it's been already over 50,000 children that have passed through the Darien Gap only this year, more probably that we don't know of. And this is 5 times the number that we saw last year.
Now, we heard in that report that an entire economy has evolved around those migrants, with some referring to it as the migrant gold rush already. Are local leaders even interested in resolving this issue?
Well, local leaders and also locals themselves have turned a problem into an opportunity for themselves, creating this sort of gold rush that you just mentioned. There's a whole economy in some of the villages in Colombia close to the Darien Gap, which offer accommodation, transportation, guides. Passages are being charged also by armed groups with which many people really fear. Nevertheless, this have given a stability, an economic stability to the communities. And this also plays into the agenda of some local politicians in these towns and villages, because Colombia is heading into regional elections by the end of the month. And obviously now on their agenda, they also have one item that is called stability, economic stability, that they can offer their communities because of these migrant flows. So on a local level, this is happening. On the national level, the message is that this needs to stop, that there needs to be a solution. But the national government usually is not very present in these regions, so matters are being taken into their own hands. On the other side, also there are countries like Costa Rica who have announced a state of emergency to handle the migrant flows, or Panama, who has stated that they will start rejecting people at their border to deal with the issue. Both of these countries, by the way, will meet up this week in the region to discuss further measures to tackle the crisis.
DW correspondent Nicole Ries there in Colombia for us. Thank you very much, Nicole.